Hello and welcome everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to this first live session of the Wake Up Your Eyes free masterclass. We released a video 2 days ago showing the secrets of natural vision improvement, and today we have the live to go deeper into this topic. If you stay with me, if you stay with us, you are going to learn at least 5 secrets, techniques, exercises, advice, tricks that you can use to improve your eyesight naturally and take care of your eyes. And if I am generous, maybe I will be sharing more of that. But before we go into the content, I would like to welcome you to the session today. Welcome to Wake Up Your Eyes Live number 1. And I would like to ask where you are participating from. Since we've been doing this free masterclass online since 2016 with the ClearSight method, 2018 with this format, 2019 measuring with Google Analytics what was going on. There's been almost 4 million people in 200 countries participating in this free masterclass. We have more of them in Spanish than in English. But still, let's see. We have people from Denmark and from Canada. Hello, Yasmin and Margaret from Ireland, and Telis from the Netherlands, and Pamela from Florida, Andrea from the UK. And because there's a little bit of delay, probably there's more people answering. There's also Dakota from LA. Great. Okay, and more people coming in. Great. So certainly there will be more and more people joining. And yes, let's see more. We have also Kathleen from Charlotte. Rhonda, hi, nice to see that you're here from Baltimore. Great. So in this session today, I'm going to teach you again new information that was not in the video that we released 2 days ago. So at least 5 more exercises, tips and tricks that you can do to take care of your eyes and improve your vision. I will also go more in depth in the topics that were taught in video number 1. And I will also tell a bit more about my personal life, my trajectory with natural vision improvement, personally and professionally. And I will also answer to a lot of the questions that we've been receiving about the contents of this lesson number 1. And if you don't know what we're talking about, oh, by the way, I see people from Italy and Arizona and Pennsylvania and Idaho. Great. So if you don't know what we're talking about when I talk about the ClearSight method, the Wake Up Your Eyes free masterclass, well, maybe you want to make sure that you register so that you not only enjoy today's content, but you also take advantage of the full scope of this free 4-part masterclass. Actually, during this masterclass, we're going to deliver the equivalent of the information and the value and the exercises that you would learn in a weekend workshop on natural vision improvement. And these weekend workshops in Europe, if I think the prices in France, in Spain, you would be paying $300, 300 euros to participate. And you're going to be able to do it absolutely for free. The masterclass is going to take place for about 10 more days. So we released the video number 1 a couple days ago. This is live number 1, and there's more happening. Yeah. So if you want to make sure that you enjoy the full scope, register and also share with your family and friends, other people that you may know that need glasses, that need contacts, that have had eye surgery or have eye surgery scheduled. If you know other people around you who may benefit from this information, you can share this link with them so that they can register. And if I do a quick recap or a quick of what we're going to do and when what is happening when. Okay, let me change how you see this. Yeah, this is better. So what's going to happen? There's 4 lessons. Again, lesson number 1, the video, each lesson has a video and a live. lesson number 1, the video was released on April 19th, and today we're doing the first live that corresponds to this lesson. In this lesson, we're talking about the fundamentals. We're talking about how focusing works, the muscles that are involved in focusing, and what you can do to relax them and stimulate them so that your focusing works better. This lesson is particularly important for people who have refractive errors like myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism, or presbyopia. Or in more common terms, if you are nearsighted or farsighted, or you need reading glasses, or you have astigmatism, this lesson is particularly important for you. But everybody else who has any kind of trouble with your eyes or symptoms, whether it's floaters or sensitivity to light, or dry eye, or fatigue from the use of computers, or whether you have actually some degeneration in your eyes, well, like cataracts, glaucoma, you've had retinal or vitreous detachments or other things, well, it's even more important that you learn how to take care of your eyes, right? So we're talking about fundamentals. We're going to give a little bit of theory, and we're going to show you applicable, actionable exercises and practices that you can do so that the state of your eyes is better, and that you can get your eyes in shape and that you can focus and see better. Okay, so that's lesson number 1 is going to be about this physical level, if you want, with a little bit of anatomy and a little bit of exercises. Lesson number 2 that will actually start tomorrow, we will release the video tomorrow, and in 3 days later we'll do the live. In lesson number 2, we're going to address limiting beliefs and false information, false beliefs that people have around eyesight. And we're also going to teach you several exercises with which you're going to improve your focus instantly using a resource that is always there at your disposal, but you maybe didn't know how to use it. Yeah. So with this second lesson, you will learn how to accelerate your vision improvement. And in the live of the 24th of April, you will learn the instant focusing technique, and you'll discover some extra tools that you can use to keep improving your eyesight and vision. With lesson number 3, we'll address actually inner vision and how it's related with outer vision. This has been the topic of my research at the university, and I'll introduce myself a bit more in a moment. And it's going to be about how emotions impact eyesight and vision, and what you can do to release the emotions that keep you from seeing. So the core of the ideas will be provided in the video in lesson number 3, and then in the live on April 27th, we will explain 15 plus eyesight symptoms and how they're affected by emotions. So whatever is the symptom you're experiencing right now, I invite you to attend the complete masterclass, all the lessons, because you're going to get useful information in every of them. And then in lesson number 4, we'll talk about the 6 scientifically proven levels from which you can impact and improve your eyesight. We've talked about a couple of them, like the physical and the emotional, but there's more. Of course, there's nutrition in there and more things that we'll talk about in lesson 4. And from that point on, you will have the opportunity to join our advanced program. And this course that will last until April the 30th is for free. But if some people want to join our advanced program, we have like hundreds of thousands of people participating in the free masterclass, but the advanced program, usually we have much less people, many less, and we take care of them with coaching, with in-depth training, with support individually, and we have a team of dedicated vision educators that are supervising the whole process. And after having opened registration for the advanced program, there will nevertheless be a live also as part of the free masterclass on April the 30th. And it's a surprise, so I'm not going to say what we're going to do that day. So if this sounds like an interesting program, sign up to take advantage of the full program and share it with your family and friends. Now, you may have some questions about the schedules, the times. Well, you are receiving the videos through email if you're registered. And we do our best to send our emails with the links to the videos at 9 a.m. with your in your time zone. However, we have more and more emails to send, and our server sometimes takes 1 hour to deliver them all. So if you haven't received it immediately at 9 a.m., well, be a little bit patient. It's going to arrive. Yeah. And if we're not aware of your time zone, our server is not aware of your time zone, it may arrive a little bit different, but we'll always provide it within the day. And the lives do have a schedule. Now, most of the time, it's going to be the same schedule that we're having today. Yeah, let me show. So that would be 10 a.m. Pacific in LA, Seattle, Vancouver, 12 noon Central, Chicago, Dallas, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, 1 p.m. Eastern, New York, Miami, Toronto, Quebec, 6 p.m. London, Dublin, Lisbon, 7 p.m. Amsterdam, Berlin, Paris, Rome, Madrid. There is an exception to this, and the exception is for the live of April 24th. That is the next one, which is I'm traveling that day, so it was absolutely not possible to do it in the standard time. So for people in the Americas, in North and South America, it will be in the afternoon. For people in Europe, it will be, I don't know, like 2 a.m. or something like that. So probably you don't want to watch it live if you're in Europe. But we have good news. You can see also the recording of that live, especially if you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, clearsightmethod.com. I invite you to subscribe and click on the little bell so you get all the notifications. And you can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/clearsightmethod, and you'll be able to watch the recording of the live if for whatever reason that time, that day, you are not available or you cannot make it, or for the exception of the 24th. So I invite you to also make sure that you are subscribed to all of this. Okay, so these are for some practical considerations for the ensemble of this masterclass. And we're very excited. We're doing this in Spanish and English at the same time. Of course, yesterday we were doing it in Spanish, today in English. And we've had, again, about 33,000 people watching the first lives that we've been doing. And also, if you're wondering if this information that we're going to provide now is going to be useful for you specifically, then I would like to share this other link. Okay, where is it? Here. So over time, we have gathered hundreds and hundreds of video testimonials of people improving their eyesight and vision from the methods that we teach, whether it's the free masterclass, Wake Up Your Eyes, or the advanced program, the ClearSight Method. And you can check at clearsightmethod.com/testimonials, and you can look, if you want, for people who had the same conditions as you have and have already improved. In Spanish, we have about 560 testimonials, more than that. And in English, we're reaching the 200 testimonials. So you can have a look at that. Okay, now the team is asking me to show the dates and times alone so that you can actually see. So you can take a snapshot. Okay. You can also watch again slowly the recording. Maybe I can remind them at the end as well. Okay, let's see. Good. So I think we're good with the practical introductory questions. So let's dive a little bit in. Okay. So you may be wondering who I am and why I'm here talking about all of this. And I haven't introduced myself properly. So let me do that first. My name is Dr. Ainhoa de Federico. And I have been, I discovered natural vision improvement, actually, basically almost as I was born. So when I was born, I was cross-eyed. I looked like this. I had an amblyopic eye, so I didn't see anything from one eye. and I was very myopic, which is very strange because usually babies are hyperopic. Translating to common language, I was very nearsighted, while usually babies are farsighted. And my parents noticed immediately, and I have the fortune to come from a family of doctors. At the time, my grandfather was a very renowned medical doctor and neurosurgeon in Spain, and he was very well connected to other specialists in every field. And so when my parents saw that I had issues with my eyesight, they talked to my grandfather. He advised an ophthalmologist who was a professor at the University of Granada, Dr. Medina. And she was very surprised when my parents first brought me to her, specialized in strabismus for children. She was very, very surprised in the beginning, but when she looked at me, she actually acknowledged and she congratulated my parents. It was a very good idea to bring me in so early. And so this ophthalmologist suggested some using some eye patches and some stimulation and some relaxation. And my parents diligently applied what she suggested. And so I was 6 months old. And by the time I was 1 year old, my eyesight was back to perfect. It was really great. And since then, I had a very good eyesight. People would tell me that I would have a lynx eyesight, that I could see really very well from the far and from the near and at night and during the day and with one eye and with the other. So I grew up with an identity of someone who had very good eyesight. And I know since birth almost, when I was 6 months old to 1 year old, so both in my cellular cells, in my cellular memory, but also from the narrative and the stories that my parents told me, because this is one of the 3 stories that my parents always told me in my birthday. So I grew up with this very strong identity of someone who knows that eyesight can be improved and that I had a very good eyesight. So fast forward, in my early 20s, I had left Spain. I had moved to France for my studies, and where I did my PhD in the University of Science and Technology of Lille. And it was my second year being in Lille. And one day I woke up in the morning and I had very blurry eyesight and I was seeing double, and I panicked. And so I called my parents in Spain. My mom picked up the phone, and she also was very, very anxious with this news. And she told me, "Don't call me to tell me such things. I cannot do anything for you. Call an ophthalmologist." Of course, that would be the good thing to do, right? When you have troubles with your eyesight. So this story is so old that it's actually from the last century or the last millennium, if you want. This story is so old that the internet wasn't even there. So I to look for an ophthalmologist, and given I was new in France, I didn't have friends to recommend me a good ophthalmologist. So I took the yellow pages. And I started calling one after the other ophthalmologists, optometrists, to see who could see me, eye doctors who could see me immediately. And I was given an appointment that day in the afternoon. So I went. After the experience, I realized that probably it was not such a good idea. Usually you don't want to go to restaurants that are empty. If they're empty, there's a reason. So I went to the ophthalmologist that had space immediately, and some more research might have been a good idea. Anyway, so I went to this ophthalmologist. It was in the afternoon. It was the winter, so it was dark and it was cold. And the building was an old building with a lot of marble, so more cold, and with very dim light. And I had to wait a long time, although it was the same day. I had to wait a long time, and I was anxious. And when I got into the office of the ophthalmologist, he didn't say hi. He barely looked at me. I'm mentioning all these elements because as the masterclass goes on, you will understand how they are related with eyesight and vision. They may seem random, but they are not. Anyway, so finally, when it's my turn, I don't know if I'm supposed to keep standing up or I can sit down or I can talk because the interaction was awkward. But anyway, in the end, it's my turn to speak. And so I say that up to that day, I was having perfect vision, and I woke up seeing double and seeing blurry. And I asked the ophthalmologist why, what had happened, and how it could be solved. The question went in one ear and out the other one. He didn't answer. He didn't try to answer. And what he did was that he put me in front of a machine with lenses and to look at letters and numbers of different sizes. And as I was looking and he was changing the lenses, I was supposed to say when I saw best. And so I did. And then he wrote on a piece of paper that I had myopia, nearsighted, astigmatism, and diplopia, double vision. And with the paper in my hand, I asked him, okay, now I have this, but yesterday I didn't. What happened? Why do I have this? And yesterday not? Again, the question went in one ear, out the other. He didn't answer. And the only thing he told me was that I was supposed to buy glasses and wear them for life. And I was very shocked and frustrated because I was identifying with someone with this identity of seeing perfectly clear and knowing that eyesight can be improved. And I couldn't understand as I was going towards doing a PhD and going in science that a doctor wouldn't try to understand why, what's the cause, to see if we can find a solution. Anyway, I paid him for the consultation and I left politely. But once I was outside, I ripped the prescription, I threw it to the trash, and I went home and I told myself, I want to find the reason why my eyesight went bad. And once I know the reason, if it has a solution, then we'll fix it. And if it doesn't, then I'll buy glasses. But I'm not going to buy glasses without knowing why, without knowing what happened. So I went home, and once I was home and very frustrated, I started calling my friends to share the experience and have the emotions out. Several of my friends were very patient and kind, and they were holding space. And one of them on the phone told me, well, Ainhoa, I cannot promise that my doctor will give you a solution, but what I can say is that he will listen to you and look with you and try to understand what's happened and look for a solution. And so I say, okay, that makes sense. So the next day, I had an appointment with this doctor who was actually a generalist, a family doctor, not an ophthalmologist. And he gave me an appointment in the morning. It was still winter, but it happened to be a very sunny day, bright day and warm, warmer because of the sun. And the office of the doctor had big windows with natural light and bright colors. It was very welcoming. And he was very kind, and he looked at me and welcomed me and talked with me. So the interaction was really very different. And then when I told him that 2 days earlier I was seeing perfectly, and now I had double vision and I was seeing very blurry, I didn't know what had happened and how it could be solved. So he listened very carefully, and then he started examining me and looking at different things. And after doing this full examination, he turned to me and he said, look, lady, what happened is that you have sinusitis. And so the sinuses and parasinuses are actually around the eyeball. And because they're inflamed, because of the infection, they're creating pressure on the eye globe. And because of that pressure, well, there's your refractive error. The eyeball doesn't have the normal shape. So because of the pressure, that's what's causing the astigmatism and the nearsightedness. Okay, and the double vision. Okay, that made sense to me. And so if the sinusitis was the cause, what was the solution? In that case, it was taking antibiotics. And so he told me to take antibiotics for 7 days. So I did. And he told me, if at the end of this week, you still have vision troubles, if you cannot see well, come back and we'll see if we can do something else. So you'll be happy to hear that I never went back to that doctor. I didn't need to. So at the end of the 7 days, my eyesight was back to perfect, to normal. The double vision was gone, the astigmatism was gone, and the nearsightedness was gone. And I'm telling you this story because there's a number of things to learn from it. And maybe some of it actually resonates with you and makes sense to you with your own experience. So the first thing I learned through this experience is that when something is compressing your eyeball, when something is creating tension in your eyeball, that's what creates a refractive error. Nearsightedness, farsightedness, astigmatism, presbyopia, the need for reading glasses. And now I know, after I've done research and studies and trainings, etc., that there's 100 years of research, of scientific research behind natural vision improvement. And Dr. Bates, the first ophthalmologist, the pioneer of natural vision improvement, discovered the mechanism by which most people actually have their eyes change shape with tension. So if you're wearing glasses for myopia, astigmatism, hyperopia, so reading glasses, so myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism, or presbyopia, so nearsighted, farsighted, reading glasses or glasses for astigmatism, probably this is your case. So how does Dr. Bates explain this? And here I'm going to go a bit back and forth between my personal story and the lessons that are important and useful for you. So what Dr. Bates described and discovered is part of how the focusing mechanism works in the human eye. And I'm first going to make an analogy between focusing in the human eye and focusing, for example, with a camera or a video camera or a projector when you want to project a clear image on a wall or on a screen. And then we'll go into the details of the eye. Yeah. So if you want to use a projector and have a PowerPoint or slides or any kind of presentation or a movie at home, and you have the projector and you want to project it on a screen or on a white wall, for the image to be clear, to be crisp, you'll need to do two things. The first thing you'll need to do is that you will need to put the projector closer or further away from the wall, right? And that's what makes the most big difference for the image to be clear, the distance between the two, right? And the second mechanism that the projector has is a little wheel with a lens that you have to move a little bit for fine-tuning how clear the image appears. Is this making sense, what I'm saying? Does it resonate? Does it make sense? Is it logical, what I'm explaining? Okay, so how is it in the human eye? So I'm going to show you a little bit how focusing works. Okay, so we live on planet Earth. There's the sun that's shining light on the planet Earth. So the rays of light from the sun go everywhere and they bounce on objects. And when the light bounces on objects, some of those rays bouncing from objects are coming into the direction of our eyes, yes? And then they have to go, I'm going to open the eyes so you see the different structures. So they have to go through the cornea, that's a natural lens, about 38 to 42 diopters. It's the strongest lens in the eye, transparent. And after the cornea, there's the aqueous humor, which is a liquid that's in the front part of the eye. And this liquid goes through the pupil. The pupil is the black dot that you have inside the ring that gives color to your eyes. Some people have dark eyes, coffee color eyes, blue, green, gray. Anyway, and what gives the color to the eyes is the iris. And the iris is a muscle, it's a sphincter that makes the pupil bigger when there's less light and smaller when there's more light, okay? And so the light goes through the pupil, which is a hole, and then it goes into the crystalline. The crystalline, it's also a natural lens, and this lens has the particularity, the advantage that it is controlled by the ciliary muscles. So the ciliary muscles, when they get tense, they bulge up. The crystalline bulges up, and it has the effect of a magnifying glass, and we can see like the small print or near. And when the ciliary muscles relax, then the crystalline becomes more flat, and that's what we need to focus far away. So this is controlled by muscles. And it is the equivalent of the little wheel of the projector, right? Okay, after that, we have the vitreous humor, which is like a gel, a jelly, and it's transparent as well. And finally, the light reaches the retina, and the retina is this part of the eye, which is composed of neurons, photosensitive cells. And there we have two kinds: the rods that are sensitive to changes in light and general structure and movement, and the cones. And the cones are sensitive to color. We see in color thanks to the cones, and also detail. And rods take most of the space in the retina, and the cones, they're a little bit everywhere, but they're mostly concentrated in the macula and in the fovea, which is our central vision. That's why you always see better in the center. Anyway, so this could be, we could say that the retina is the projection screen where the light has to arrive precisely, so that we see things well focused. Now, we are looking at objects that some of them are far and some of them are near. So the eye has to do something so that we can see things focused, even if they're far or even if they're near. Okay, so what are the two mechanisms that are equivalent to the projector? We already talked about the little wheel. This would be the crystalline. I'm going to put back all the pieces of the eye because otherwise it will look very strange. Yeah, so the ciliary muscles and the crystalline would be the focusing mechanism that's equivalent to the little wheel in the projector. And this mechanism was discovered by an ophthalmologist and physicist called Hermann von Helmholtz in Germany in the 1855, in the 19th century. So what would be the mechanism equivalent to putting the projector closer or further away from the wall in the human eye? Well, that mechanism was discovered by Dr. William Bates, and it relates with the muscles that you can observe around the eye. So these four that I just showed you are the straight muscles, and these, besides allowing the eye to look into the direction that we want to look at, they have a function. And that is when they become tense, the straight muscles, they make the eye a bit more flat. And so it allows for us to focus far away. And there's also these other muscles here and here, the oblique muscles here and here. So if I make the representation with this other ball, the oblique muscles surround the eye like a belt, and when they get tense, they make the eyeball longer, and this allows us to focus near. So when we're focusing near, actually, the crystalline has to bulge up with tension in the ciliary muscles. The obliques have to be tense, and also the straight muscles in the center have to tense so that we converge our sight and we look at the thing that's near. So now you have learned that looking near requires effort and tension in the muscles, while looking far away is a much more relaxed position for your eyes. And now compare, how much time do you spend every day looking near, and how much time do you spend every day looking far away? So if you're not looking far away that much, well, that's one first tip. If you want to take care of your eyes, to relax them and have good eyesight, do that. Okay, so back to the eyesight. So we just said that this is an eye that sees near, and this is an eye that's looking far away, right? But what if these muscles are tense all the time? Well, if this muscle is tense all the time, we have an eye that is too long, and this is what we call a myopic eye. People who see near well, but don't see far away well, because there's a lot of tension in the oblique muscles. So if you want to see, again, normally far away, you need to relax these muscles. Yeah? And what is an eye that has the straight muscles tense all the time? It's an eye that is too flat. It's it doesn't have the right shape either. And this is a hyperopic eye, or an eye that experiences farsightedness. people with farsightedness have trouble to focus anywhere, but particularly to focus near, because they're in this position that is not correct for focusing well. Now, what causes astigmatism? This is actually a mechanism that has been discovered after Dr. William Bates. And astigmatism is caused by irregular tensions in the straight muscles. Yeah? They change the shape of the cornea and they make it, instead of being like a round ball, like a soccer ball or a basketball ball, well, the ball looks more like a rugby ball. The cornea looks more like a rugby ball or like an American football ball. And that distorts the image. So if you have astigmatism, you want to relax the straight muscles so that you can see better. That you can see better again. And finally, what happens with presbyopia, the need for reading glasses that a lot of people get with age. We'll talk more about the relationship with age and eyesight in tomorrow's video and in the next live. So actually, presbyopia, or the need of reading glasses, is caused by the ciliary muscles not doing the necessary work to push the crystalline, so the crystalline bulges up. So there's tension and not enough relaxation, and the ciliary muscles are not working well. You need to know that even if the crystalline gets a little bit more dense over time with age, you need to know that the ciliary muscles and the muscles of the eyes are 400 times stronger than needed just to move the eye around. So the ciliary muscles can push more to still bulge up the crystalline, and that you can see near even when you're older. So you need to train the muscles of your eyes so that you can see more clearly. Now, if the muscles in the eyes can be trained, like you can train your fingers to play the piano or the guitar, or your body when you're practicing yoga, or any other discipline or practice that you want to do with your body. Now, there is a question that is absolutely key in this mechanism, and it's the following. And I'm going to illustrate it with an exercise. We're going to do the first exercise for this session. There's going to be another one in a moment. But the first exercise, the first illustration I want to do with you is the following. I'm going to ask you to take your arms and tense them. Create a lot of tension in your arms. Tense, 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 tense. Create a lot of tension. And when your arm is completely tense, try to move it. It's not possible. You cannot move it against the tension. Now relax the muscles and now try to move your arms. Now you can. Okay, so this is a relevant question, a relevant element, because when the muscles in your eyes are tense all the time, your eye cannot naturally do the kind of adjustment it needs to focus near and to focus far that you require. So if you've been experiencing nearsightedness, farsightedness, astigmatism, or presbyopia, most likely your eyes are too tense. There's too much tension in your eyes. And so there is practice, there is an exercise that you can practice that can relax your eyes very, very much. And I know that I'm talking about my story and my presentation and theory and practice. It's all a bit together, but as long as it flows and it makes sense, we can do it like this. So I'm going to teach you now the STAR practice of natural vision improvement. It was created by Dr. Bates. I know that there's questions about this practice too. And I will tell you how to do it properly. But first, I want to close some loops before we go into the practice of palming and questions about palming, okay? Which is the relaxation technique, a very important relaxation technique for the eyes so that your muscles can focus. So back to my story a little bit. So with this first experience, when I was in my early 20s, again, I learned that when there is tension in the eyes, something creating pressure in the eyes, well, that creates refractive errors. And I remember having wondered, well, first of all, on the one hand, if I had, listened to that first doctor who encouraged me, who told me to buy glasses, ignoring that it was something that had just happened a couple days before, and I had put glasses on my eyes, probably I would be wearing glasses today because the eyes get used to the glasses. So think about yourself. Maybe the eyesight problem started at a moment where you were tense for whatever reason, and we'll talk more about this in lesson 3. But when you put the glasses immediately, once you start experimenting that tension, then you have your eye adapt to see through those glasses with tension. And actually, that's what people tell you when you buy the glasses. You go to the shop to get your glasses that have been measured specifically for your eyes, right? They give you the number of diopters of this and that the eye should have. And when you go to the shop and you put the glasses on for the first time, you're like, oh, I don't see well with them. Are these really my glasses? And then someone in the shop checks the number of the glasses and the number of your little paper, and they say, yes, they're your glasses, but now your eyes have to get used to seeing through these glasses. Well, guess what? If the eyes can get used to seeing through the glasses, they can also get used to seeing without the glasses, because it means that the eyes has adaptive capacities, right? So this is what we're going to be teaching you in this 4-part masterclass, things that you can do so that you can help your eyes adapt to seeing clearly without the glasses again. And one of the first ideas, or one idea, is maybe use the glasses less. Use them, of course, whenever you need them. For example, if you need them for driving, we want your safety and everybody else's safety. So use the glasses. Or if you're using dangerous tools, of course, use the glasses. We want you with all your fingers. Or if you're doing accounting or reading something that's very small, maybe it makes sense to use the glasses at that moment. But the rest of the time, it's better if your objective is to see clearly with your own eyes without glasses or contacts and avoiding surgeries, etc. It is a good idea to do as much as you can without the glasses. To do as much as you can. And you can even make a list and see how that list keeps growing over time. Now, the thing is that if the day, why does it happen that the day that our eyes are measured, we see clearly through that lens, and then 2 weeks later, when they give us our glasses ready-made for us with our exact prescription, we don't see well with them? Well, because the eyes are living tissue in the body. Like your breathing is not the same all the time. Your heart rate is not the same all the time. Your digestion is not the same all the time. Your sweating is not the same all the time, right? So the same happens with the eyes. So if the day your eyes were measured, you had this much tension, and then 2 weeks later, you had this much tension, by putting the glasses on, you have to go back to this much tension so that you can see well through them. So actually, the glasses tend to chronify the tension in the eyes and sometimes even make it worse. There's this optometrist, Dr. Mark Grossman. If you saw the documentary a few days ago, there was an interview by him, and he says that 75% of the time, people who get glasses, actually they get stronger glasses every time. If the glasses were helping you to see better, you would get lesser glasses, glasses with a lower prescription every time. And that's not what happens for most people. So the glasses compensate for the mechanisms in the eye, but the better thing to do is not to depend on the glasses and train your eyes to do their normal, natural mechanisms again. It's as if you broke a leg or you sprained an ankle. And I know well, because I just did that 4 months ago. So if you sprained an ankle, maybe you're going to need crutches for a while the ankle is repairing, but nobody thinks about wearing crutches for the rest of their lives. So maybe at some point in time, the glasses are useful. And less glasses, they've been around since the 14th century, and they've been helping a lot of people. It's not a like a quest against glasses or something. Glasses have been useful and are useful at times, but if your objective is to train your eyes to see better and to see on your own means, well, as you would do with your ankle, at some point you go to a physiotherapist or someone to help you to restore that and to teach you to walk again with your feet, and then you can walk again normally. So you can do the same thing with your eyes and your eyesight. Okay, and I see Karen saying, this makes sense. Okay, I'm very happy that it makes sense to you. Okay, very good. So we were saying that, if your objective is to see clearly with your own eyes, maybe put the glasses aside as much as reasonably possible. And going back to my story, so after this experience, I learned about the shape of the eye. I wondered if I had put the glasses on, I would be wearing glasses maybe for the rest of my life because the eyes adapt to them. And I remember also having thought, how many people may there be out there that are wearing glasses today just because there was some tension at some point in time in their eyes and they don't know about it. They don't know better. And at the time I had other projects, and so I had the thought, but I didn't do anything with it. I went on with my plans and I did a PhD. It was a co-advised PhD between a university in France and a university in Spain. So at the end of the PhD, I had 2 diplomas. I got 2 prizes for my PhD. So I was very successful in the path I had chosen. And I was appointed in the editorial team or several journals in my area of specialty at the time. And so I got tenured very young also, 6 months after I had finished my PhD, I got tenured. So I was extremely successful in my university academic career. And in my early 30s, I was guest researcher and professor at the University of Barcelona in Spain. And I was editing a special issue for an international scientific journal. And I had my 3rd episode of eyesight troubles. What happened? Well, I was in the subway in Barcelona and I couldn't read the names of the lines or the stops. I couldn't read them, so I couldn't read far. And as I was reading the articles for the journal, I realized that I had to put them away. I had printed them with small print to have 2 on each page, and I had to put them away. So I was like, I cannot focus near and I cannot focus far away. So there's something going on with my eyesight. But by then, I had proven to myself already twice that I could improve my eyesight without necessarily using glasses or surgery. The first time, the solution was at the physical level with relaxation and exercises. The second time, it was at the chemical level, at that time with drugs, with antibiotics. But of course, at the chemical level, you can do also with nutrition. And we'll talk about this at other times. So I was like, okay, 3rd time I have issues with my eyesight. What can I do this time to improve it? And by then, I had been already studying and researching and getting training on holistic health approaches, psychosomatic health approaches. And in these psychosomatic approaches, the general idea that was exposed or explored was that your body expresses the tensions that are not solved in your life or in your consciousness. And the symptoms that appear in your body are an adaptive response of your body to the environment and what's going on in the environment. And so you can also heal symptoms by taking the message of the symptom and understanding what it's telling you about how you're handling your life and what emotional release you need to do to release the symptom as well. And because I had been very enthusiastically studying these approaches for 5 years, I thought, so I know that eyesight can improve because I've done it twice already. Maybe I can use this approach to, again, solve the eyesight problems for a third time. So I decided to go to see an ophthalmologist to have a diagnosis of what was going on with my eyesight at that time, so that I could know what to look at in the messages from the symptoms. And so this ophthalmologist, a lady, this third time, told me that I had developed astigmatism again, as I had had in my early 20s for a week, and that I had developed presbyopia, the need for reading glasses. And for me, that was a shock because I was 32, maybe 33. And nowadays, it's considered normal, that is statistically frequent, to need reading glasses after your 40s. Tomorrow we'll talk more about these tendencies and how to revert them. And in lesson number 2, we'll go deeper into that. But that's the information I had at the time. And so I was very shocked at 30 some to have developed a symptom that corresponded to being 10 or 20 years older. I felt like I had become older all of a sudden with this eyesight symptom. So anyway, I went home with this diagnosis and went to my books that talked about the correspondences between symptoms and emotions and things happening in your life. And I was ready to have a deep conversation with myself on the topic, right? I also had given myself 2 months to solve this with this approach. And if I wouldn't solve it within 2 months, then I would get glasses. And what was interesting also was that at the time at the university, all my colleagues were wearing glasses, and they expected me to get glasses as well, as if that was part of the uniform of the university professor, and that you would seem smarter or more professional if you would have glasses. And I noticed that my colleagues would use them as part of their communication style. But I didn't necessarily want to have glasses like everybody else. I would much prefer to see clearly with my own eyes and see if some of the things that I'm saying about my story also resonate with yours and make sense. Anyway, so I gave myself 2 months. I went to my books. I had a look at the meaning of the symptoms. And it was like, like a slap in the face. So my eyes were telling me, on the one hand, that I was bored with my life, that I found my life was not interesting anymore. And at the peak of the success of my career, very young, and having all my life in front of me, that was, wow, okay, a wake-up call. And the second thing that my eyes were telling me was that I had betrayed myself, that I was not following my path of happiness. So that got me thinking really deeply. And I had to have this very honest conversation with myself. And I had to accept that my eyes were right. While I was being very successful in this academic career, I had to recognize that this was actually what I had picked up from my father's dreams. My father had wanted to become a university professor. He had done a PhD, and for reasons that are not relevant at this moment, but in any case, he ended up being a high school teacher, and he loved it afterwards, but there was something he missed there. And he always had wanted to have a daughter that would be a scientist. So in a way, I was taking my father's dreams and carrying them to please my dad, but that was not making me as happy as it might have looked from the outside. So then I had to do this soul search and connect with my heart to see what would make me profoundly happy. And what I'm doing right now is what makes it. Call it being, supporting people for their well-being and happiness and health, in this case with natural vision improvement. So sometimes with science and research, the product of a lot of hours of work ends up in a little article that is read by a handful of people and stays in a shelf, but doesn't have an impact in the world, in the quality of life of people. And I want to have that impact. So my eyes were telling me that, and I had to seriously reconsider my path and my career. And so that's when I decided that I would do research and study and get training in natural vision improvement, and that I would develop all of this. So you've seen I improved my eyesight 3 times from different symptoms. I had 6 different symptoms in total: strabismus, amblyopia, myopia, double vision, astigmatism, and presbyopia. And I have healed from all of them naturally, and I have never had the need for glasses or for surgeries. That's personally. Now, as a professional, so I started doing research and training and taking classes and learning from various teachers and researchers that have been on the field before me. Of course, there's a great deal of very good ones. And so I started learning. I started helping people individually first, like privately as a hobby, aside from my work at the university. And then I started teaching it. And then I started teaching it online. In 2016, I started teaching online in Spanish. And then the university noticed that all of this was very successful. So they asked me to teach at the Free University of Toulouse, where researchers and professors share their fields of specialty with the general society. And usually it attracts retired people. So people in their 60s, their 70s, their 80s, and sometimes their 90s. And at the university, the service of the Free University of Toulouse, they were very impressed to see people that age come with glasses to the classes and then forget them in the space of the workshop, and then come the next week without glasses, and more live without glasses, even at an older age. So my class at the Free University of Toulouse was very successful and always doubled. We always had to double the number of groups because there was always a big waiting list. And I'm talking about it in the past because I've done it for a number of years, but now I'm on a sabbatical, so I'm not teaching those classes at the University of Toulouse at the moment. Now, the other part of the University of Toulouse where they asked me to teach natural vision improvement was the Masters of Health Education. And I am currently still teaching in that master, even though I'm on a sabbatical, because they have really asked me to keep doing it. So I'm also training young professionals to be advisors in the area of health on natural vision improvement. Now, more recently, I have been awarded a honorary doctorate by a Mexican university for the impact of my program. I have also got a prize. Maybe you won't see it very well, but I got a prize from the Global Health and Pharma for the best course in natural vision improvement in 2022 at the, what's the name? The Global Health Awards or something like that. It's something that I didn't even know about. And the last news that may be interesting is that I have signed a contract with this Mexican university to create the first university certification on natural vision improvement up. So I guess we're doing a good job here. And another thing, and that's for me even more important, my trainings, my online trainings have been touching millions of people all over the world, and I have thousands and thousands of students. But anyway, enough about me. Let's get back to the things that are interesting for you and the things that you can learn to see clearly. Okay, so I promised that after explaining how the focusing works, that I would teach you, or I would recap on how to do palming. That technique was taught in video number 1, but we're going to review it again. And I'm also going to take time to answer questions that we've received about it, how to do palming. So how does palming work? Palming is a technique that has the aim to relax your eyes and also to create darkness for your eyes, because the nervous system relaxes in darkness. And also in darkness, the retina produces the enzymes that are needed for you to see contrast and to see in colors. So darkness is as important as light for you to see clearly. In tomorrow's video, we'll talk about light. And lesson number 2, we'll talk about light, among other things. But now let's see how to do palming. Your hands also are warm and they have energy, so that warmth helps relax the muscles in the eyes. So how do you perform palming? So you want to do palming because it'll help you focus better. It'll help the muscles relax, and that'll help the sensations in the eyes and your focusing capacity, your capacity to see more clearly. So you can rub your hands, or you can shake them to relax them. I like shaking them. Um, and then you can put them in the shape of like a spoon-like shape, as if you were holding an egg. Mhm. And then you're going to cross your fingers like this or like this, and the palms are going to cover the eyes without making any pressure on them. That's why it's called palming, because you use the palm for the eyes, and the fingers are going to go to the forehead, to the third eye, if you want. Okay, so you're going to do like this. So very important to make sure that you can breathe, because it's very important to breathe. The eyes and the brain are the organs in your body that use the most oxygen. Mhm. So while breathing is a good idea in general for relaxation and oxygenation for your body, it's even more important for your eyes and your brain. Yeah. So you make sure that you can breathe. You close your eyes, and also you will have removed any glasses or contacts to do the palming. And if you stay like this, you may be very uncomfortable. Your muscles, your shoulders may have some tension. I'm trying to look if I have a cushion around here. Maybe you can help me. Yes. So you could put your elbows on the table, or you could also have a little cushion, the Ellie dog cushion, as we call it in my household. Ellie is the name of a dog, and so you can put your elbows on the cushion to make it a comfortable position, with your eyes relaxed, the spoon-like position, and then you can rest your head on the palms and your eyes, and you can breathe slowly and deeply, and feel how you relax as you breathe out. I invite you to do this that I'm showing so you can see the effects right now, not just listen, but actually do it. So you can breathe in slowly and deeply, and notice the relaxation as you exhale. So the heat in your hands, the energy of your hands is relaxing the muscles around the eyes and relaxing the eyes. But also the darkness is helping your nervous system to unwind. Close your eyes if you didn't do it before. And the darkness is helping also the production of the enzymes so that you can see better. You can insist on the darkness by imagining black objects. For example, the cloak of a magician, or the hat of a magician, or a black panther, or a black horse. Or you can just imagine that there's black ink that is falling in front of your closed eyelids. And notice the feeling of relaxation that comes with it, the calm, the stillness. And you could remain palming as long as you want in your daily life. Of course, we're in the middle of a lesson where I still want to explain some more things to you. So I'm going to do it briefly, and yet, although we'll do it very briefly, you will notice the difference and how much better you can see after the palming. Okay, so how do we end the palming? So first, you keep your eyes closed, you keep your hands on your face, and you're going to straighten your position. And now, while keeping your eyes closed, you're going to remove your hands from your face, from your eyes closed, and you're going to notice the colors that you see on your closed eyelids. Notice it could be red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. It can change. Doesn't matter what color you see. The important is that you notice that you see a color and how it changes. And when the color doesn't change anymore, then you can remove your hands, you can stretch, you can yawn, you can sigh. You can moan. All of that is good for relaxation, so you can do that. And once you have relaxed, then to open your eyes, instead of doing it abruptly, I suggest that we do as if the eyelids were butterflies swinging their wings. And you can open your eyes, okay, with blinking as a butterfly. Okay, and that helps your eyes adjust to light again. And now look around you. And if you're like me, very likely you will notice that you see better. Maybe you see more light, or the colors brighter, or maybe you see textures better or more contrast, or you see objects in 3D better, or perspectives, or anything else. Movement, there's many other dimensions to the experience of seeing. So notice how much better you see, what has changed. And I would like for you to write in the chat what do you see that is different now after you've done the palming, even for a little moment. Now, let's talk a bit more about palming, as you are right. Okay. Okay, yeah. So SS is saying my hands are small. So is it okay to palm with the hands straight? Yes, it is. Yeah. This is comfortable for a lot of people, also to put the elbows. But if you do it like this, it's okay as well. Sometimes people ask, can I palm with one hand? People that have broken an arm or are missing a hand for any reason, well, then you would take turns to cover each eye, but it's a good idea to palm anyway. Now, some people also ask if they can use like a mask instead of palming. And let me say here, masks are a good idea for sleeping. I usually sleep with one to create more darkness, but they're not equivalent for palming, because the mask doesn't have the heat and the energy from your hands. So it will create the darkness, which is good, but it will not relax the eyes with the heat of your hands. So when you palm with your hands. That's the best way to do it. And if you want, you can use a mask for sleeping, or if you're traveling and like on an airplane and you're traveling overnight, well, using masks are a very good idea. So this is another advice. You want to sleep at night with your room dark. No telephone lights, no TV, little pilots, no clocks that have light. The idea is to have the room as dark as possible. There's been a study at the University of Pennsylvania done with kids, and kids that sleep with a little light to go to the toilet or because they're afraid or something, and kids that sleep in complete darkness. Well, guess what? The kids with the light, they have more chances to develop myopia or nearsightedness, and the other ones to have better eyesight. Our eyes and our nervous system need light and need darkness, and darkness is very important. So to sleep at night, to rest your nervous system, to rest your eyes, to generate all the enzymes needed to see clearly, and also to keep your body aligned with the circadian cycle and for its regeneration, etc., of the nervous system and other organs, you need to sleep in the dark as much as possible. Okay, so maybe you need to get blinds or remove little pilots or put tape on them, but do this because it's going to help you a lot. And getting back to the palming, doing palming before going to bed is a very good idea. Some people ask, when do I do palming? My suggestion would be do palming in any moment of the day that you have the opportunity, as much as you have the opportunity. But if for some reason you only have one chance to do it, then let it be just before you go to bed. Because this way, as your eyes relax, they're going to, with the hours of sleeping at night, your eyes will enjoy the relaxation for many hours from the palming and afterwards. Sometimes people ask me, so if I'm going to be doing palming in bed, how do I do it? So 2 ideas. You could do palming laying down. And actually, yeah, SS is asking, can you palm successfully on your back? And if so, how? Yes, so you're laying on your back. You can put a cushion on your chest, and you can secure your elbows. In this way, they're not going to fall on the sides, but otherwise it's the same position. Um, Another possibility for palming laying on your back in bed, because if you just hold them like this, they will fall on the sides or you'll have to create tension, and that's not a good idea. So another alternative is use a belt. Mhm. Use a belt, and with this belt, then you can do the palming in bed, and the elbows will not fall on the sides. So yes, you can do palming in that case. And I'm seeing some questions about, does it help for various symptoms? Palming is a fundamental practice of natural vision improvement, and it is useful for the eye, whatever is the symptom that you have, because eyes to function well require a number of things. Like your body to function well requires good nutrition and exercise and water and a number of things. Well, the eyes too, and the eyes need relaxation, very important. They need good nutrition, they need detox, they need good circulation in the eyes, they need stimulation, they need contrast, they need also moist hydration. We're going to address some of these things also a little bit more today. So whatever is the symptom that you have, practice palming. It will help. It will help your eyes get back in shape. Now, I do need to make a warning. If you have glaucoma, do not do the palming more than 5 minutes at a time. You can do palming more than once in the day, but not more than 5 minutes at a time. If you do not have glaucoma, you can do the palming as long as possible. Now, there is another position to do the palming that I like very much. I call it palming in the thinker's position. And in this position, so for the hands, it's going to be the same, but the difference is that you're going to go with your back forward from the hips so that your back is straight, so that you don't hunch your back. And you're going to put your elbows on your knees. And then you're creating like a base with your hands where you can rest your head for the palming with the elbows on your knees. And this creates a baby-like position that deepens breath and relaxation and calms your nervous system even more. And also it releases all the muscles in the back of your body. And your eyes, the muscles in your eyes are connected through the fascias with all the muscles in your body. So it's good to relax your body as a whole as well. Now, this position is great, the palming in the thinker's position, but I also need to do a warning. If you have glaucoma, retinal detachment, or vitreous detachment, then it's better not to do that position because of the conditions of your eyes. But in any other case, and most people don't have glaucoma, or retinal detachment, or high myopia, or vitreous detachment, for everybody else, you can practice the palming in the thinker's position as much as you want. Okay, let's see more. So, what is useful in the palming? Is it the darkness? Is it the warmth? It's both. So that's why palming is so good. Does palming have to be done with your eyes open or closed? Closed, without glasses, without contacts, and with your eyes closed. After the palming, should I put the glasses immediately on? Well, actually, the best is that you would stay without glasses as much as it's reasonable and it's possible, and take the time to notice how your eyesight has improved after doing the palming. Okay, if I'm doing palming today, right now, and I'm not noticing a change, or I've done it for a couple of days and I'm not noticing a change, is this normal? Well, most people do notice a change doing palming from the first time they start practicing. They notice a change in the sensations in the eyes, in the relaxation of the eyes, and they notice a change in perception, in seeing more clearly. But some people need to persevere longer. It's like if you start doing yoga, maybe the first day you start noticing that you can reach your feet in some of the positions, but some people need to practice yoga a bit longer to really notice the results. Okay. Also, if you want to play an instrument, maybe the first day you're not actually able to do it properly. You need a little bit more of practice. Some people also ask, for how long do I need to do the palming? Like how many weeks do I need, or how many days do I need to do palming? Well, my question is, how many days do you need to drink water, or how many weeks do you need to brush your teeth? Once you learn that brushing your teeth is good for your teeth, right? You're going to be doing it every day. And people brush their teeth because they want to have good teeth when they're older, right? Well, do you want to have good eyesight when you're older? I suppose you do. So I would invite you to drink water and do palming and brush your teeth every day. And you'll notice with palming and also with these other practices of natural vision improvement that as you start doing them, your body requests for it. If you've been drinking water and one day for whatever reason you cannot drink water, your body will show you thirst and will require you to drink water. If you brush your teeth and one day for whatever reason you cannot do it, you'll notice it in your mouth that your body's asking for the brushing the teeth. If you put cream on your face and one day you forget to do it, or if for some reason you can't, you'll notice in your skin that your body's asking for it. Well, your eyes are going to be so thankful when you start doing palming that they're going to ask for you to do palming. Is the palming with the eyes, with the hands on and off? No, palming is while you're keeping the hands on, covering your closed eyes, and there's no movement in the hands and there's no movement in the eyes. Yeah, the idea is to relax. Is the palm pressuring the eye? No, we want relaxation. That's why we put it in a spoon-like position. Okay, breathing during palming. So the idea is to breathe in a way that's relaxed and deep. And some people sometimes like to count when they're breathing, like 4 seconds or 8 seconds or something like that. Now, with the seconds, if you want to be precise, you would have to open your eyes to look at some clock or something. I'm going to invite you to count heartbeats instead of seconds. First, because you have an inner reference of your own heartbeats. You can feel them in your body, and then you pay more attention to what you feel, which is a good idea. And then you're more present to yourself. And also because when you, let's say, for example, you breathe in for 4 heartbeats and you breathe out for 8 heartbeats, which prolongs the relaxation, not only it's easy to count, to have something to count on, but also you harmonize your breathing with your heartbeat. And this creates congruence between two rhythmic systems in your body, which creates more harmony and congruence, coherence for all of your body and all of your systems. So it's actually very healthy to breathe in terms of your heartbeats. So there's another tip that you have there that is very useful, and not just for palming or eyesight, but in general. Now, can you use music or scents or affirmations or visualizations during palming? Absolutely. You can have a nice scent, a nice music, follow a meditation, or imagine something beautiful that you are, like a good memory from childhood, or imagining something that you want to achieve that will make you very happy. You can do all of these things, and it will be very helpful for the palming. Okay, do I remove the hands at once after palming? You could, and sometimes we're in a hurry and that's how we can do it. Now, if you have a little bit more of time, I would suggest to do the blinking, to finish the palming as I showed it, because then you're giving a softer time for your eyes to get accustomed to light again. It's a kinder way to treat your eyes. Okay, how many days, how much time? We already talked about it. How many days when sleeping, sitting, or laying? with one hand. Okay. What do I do if I use a lot of screens or I read a lot? Well, I would say if you're spending a lot of time in front of a screen for your job or for whatever reason, or if you're reading lots of books, which both are amazing ideas because we learn a lot from these, and they're very good innovations for humankind, you may want to do palming when you're pausing from it. I would suggest to do palming even if you're having an intense screen work. Stop every hour for a pause, look far away, remember to blink. We're going to talk about blinking in a moment, and do palming. So if you're having intensive screen time, looking far away regularly is very important. Look the furthest corners of the room, or look outside a window. Open is even better. You'll notice that when you look outside a window, you'll see things in 3D. And yeah, and you can put post-its around the screen to remember to breathe, to remember to blink, to remember to look far away. And the second exercise that we will do will be about blinking, and we will do it in a moment. I'll tell you why blinking is so important, and you'll actually experience it with your own eyes. And does palming help with my symptom? Yes, it does. You can do palming when you have vitrectomy, when you have macular degeneration, when you have cataracts, when you have keratoconus, when you have any refractive error, after having had a brain tumor. I see some people have that. If you have issues with your nerve, with your optic nerve, whatever symptom you have, you can do palming, and it will be helpful for your nervous system and for your eyes. The only warning, again, is attention with glaucoma. Don't do palming more than 5 minutes at a time. And if you've had high myopia or vitreous detachment or retinal detachment or glaucoma, again, don't do the thinker's position. But other than that, you can do it. Can I do it for kids? For example, my 7-year-old kid. Yes, you can. No. So with children, you will need to adapt a little bit. Maybe if they're very small, you can palm their eyes when they're sleeping. Or you can sit them on your lap facing in the same direction as you, and you can palm their eyes. And when they're a bit older, maybe 6, 7, probably by then they can learn to palm themselves, and you can palm together, sitting next to each other. Now, with kids, it's always a very good idea to treat natural vision improvement as playing games, and we playing games together. For example, we could get disguised as pirates, because pirates use patches, eye patches, and you can change the eye patches around and play with balls and do palming and all these practices. And then kids find it fun, and then they learn it and they do it. You probably want for your kids to learn how to do all these things. You probably taught them to brush their teeth, and then we're creating collectively a new set of cultural norms so that everybody is taking good care of their eyesight and vision. This is the reason why we teach these classes for free, and why we have done it for so many years, and why we are so happy to have reached almost 4 million people learning good habits for your eyesight and vision. Okay, what happens if when I'm doing palming, I have weird sensations in my eyes, or I have a headache, or I have nausea? Okay, so it's important for you to know that most of the time, for most people, palming is actually a very pleasant experience, and you notice the benefits very quickly, and it makes you feel good and sleep better at night also. Now, some people do have strange sensations in the eyes, or headaches, or nausea. And when that happens, it's because, as I said earlier, the muscles in the eyes are connected through the fascias to all the rest of the muscles in the body, to the different muscle chains. So when you're relaxing the muscles in the eyes, it's having effects in other parts of your body. And if they had been under a lot of tension, it may feel weird when they're relaxing. Plus, your muscles in your eyes also are going to start getting some new training. So it's going to feel a little bit weird maybe for a few days. But if you started any sport, that would happen too. In the first days, you would have sore muscles, from little crystals forming in the muscles. But if you keep practicing, that goes away. Sometimes you don't have pain in muscles you didn't even know you had when you start a new sport. Well, that could happen with your eyes. Also, why the nausea? Because the stomach is the reflex part of the eyes. So if you're getting some strange sensations in the eyes or headaches or nausea, actually it's a good sign, a bit uncomfortable, but it's a good sign that your body's already making the changes, changing the settings so that you can see better and better. So this is good news. Okay. So let me recap a little bit about things that we've been saying now. So I've mentioned, and I'll have a look at the chat too. I've mentioned that the eyes need relaxation, movement, centralization, oxygen. Centralization is looking at details. Oxygen, they need hydration or moist. They need good nutrition. They need detox. They need stimulation. They need contrasts. And we've been talking about the importance of breathing to get oxygen for the eyes and the brain, looking far away for relaxing the eyes. We've seen how yawning and stretching is also good. Yawning brings more oxygen, and it also makes moist for the eyes. And stretching also helps for all these muscles to create space for the eyesight, the muscles in the eyes also to get stretched and for focusing to work better. Let me see, I'm marking the things that I still want to explain. We've talked about darkness. So you know that sleeping in the dark and darkness is also very good. And we talked about using glasses as little as possible within reason. Okay, I said that I was going to talk about blinking. Blinking is very important for your eyes being in shape. And besides talking about it, I would like to offer you another experience with blinking. So we are going to do the following. We are going to take 30 seconds and 30 seconds for this experience. What is it going to be? For 30 seconds, you're going to not blink at all. You're going to avoid blinking as much as possible. In some countries, this is a game. In French, they take each other's chin and they look at each other and they sing a little song. And the first one who blinks loses in this game. Well, we're going to spend 30 seconds not blinking or blinking the least possible. Okay? So I have this timer here. So I'm going to start. Oh, no, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds. Sorry. So I'm going to start now. Okay, I lost already 8 seconds. But let's continue without blinking. 12 seconds this time. Okay, let's again not blink. As little as possible. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so now the question is, how do your eyes feel after not blinking or blinking very little? If you're like me and most people, probably your eyes are burning, they're itching, maybe you see even more blurry, and there's a feeling of discomfort in the eyes. The eyes don't like it when there is no blinking. And actually, blinking has lots of good properties for the eyes. But before I explain that, we're going to do the opposite. Now we're going to blink for 30 seconds every second. I'll mark with my fingers each passing second. So let's start. Okay. Et voila, 30 seconds blinking. So after blinking, you probably notice that now your eyes are moist, that they feel more relaxed, they're more comfortable. you probably notice that you can see better, that you can focus better, that you can see colors better. Uh-huh. So I hope this experience was useful for you to notice. Now, let me explain a little bit about blinking. So every time we blink, we are stimulating the glands that produce all the ingredients for the tears. So blinking allows to have moist eyes. Also, when we blink, this tear is spread in the eye, like the wind. How do you call them? The wind wipers in the shield of your car, the windshield. Anyway, so the blinking distributes the tear in the eye. It cleanses the eye, removes dust or whatever would be there. And also, every time we blink, we create a moment of darkness that allows for the enzymes to be produced. And also, every time we blink, the muscles that are in charge of focusing have a moment to relax. And also, when the tear is distributed over the cornea, it creates a more regular shape, round shape of the cornea. So it also allows to focus better. So blinking has lots of good properties. Yeah. So this is something that I would also like to invite you to do, to pay attention at how much you blink usually, and to blink every 2 seconds, every 3 seconds. That's what's normal, 30 times, 20 times per minute. And to blink, you don't need to stop what you're doing. You can be doing whatever activities that you have throughout the day and be blinking more and be looking far away more, right? And be breathing better. So more things that you can do, blink. Also, what do we need? What else can we do for having moist eyes? Yawning also helps having moist eyes, and also laughing. Have you noticed that when you laugh, you sometimes almost cry out of laughing? Well, that's very good. And guess what? Crying is also good for your eyesight. We'll talk more about this in lesson 3 as we connect it with emotions, but crying is very, very good. Now, if you live in an environment that is very dry, you may want to put a humidifier in the room where you're working, particularly, that would help. And again, use the post-its on your screen. And blinking is one of the reminders that you may want to have on a post-it around your screen, because when we're looking at the computer or looking at TV, we tend to become hypnotized and the screen doesn't blink back. So we forget to blink. When we're talking to a person, we see the person blinking, so we will blink, we imitate. When a person is yawning, we're going to yawn too. So we imitate. But the screen is not blinking. So we need to be reminded sometimes to blink more often. Now, also, we mention memory and imagination as very useful elements during palming. And actually, Dr. William Bates, but not only him, he was the first ophthalmologist to link memory and imagination with eyesight. But at the same time, in the early 19th century, psychologists started to be interested in perception with Gestalt, for example. And so we learned from both angles that memory and imagination are very important for perception. And of course, neurosciences have studied that a lot more, even in contemporary times. So use your memory and imagination to see better, imagine and remember beautiful things that will make you feel relaxed, so that your nervous system is functioning from the parasympathetic side of relaxation, regeneration, digestion, repairing, learning. When we are relaxed, we see a lot better, because the autonomous nervous system is allowing for the settings for seeing better. When we are stressed or tired or under a sickness or digestion or doing other efforts, it's normal that we see less well, because there's the sympathetic nervous system that is at work at that time, and that creates different settings for perception. So very important. Relaxation is very important, not just at the physical level, but also to impact positively on the nervous system, and then the nervous system allows you to see better. And also, this is very important, a positive mindset. Mhm. Believing, this famous saying by Ford, whether you believe that you can or that you can't, you are right. So, what are you going to choose? I would encourage you to choose that you can, and to think of the reason why you want to see clearly, to find your motivation, and remind yourself what that important motivation is, and to practice and persevere with what you're learning here. Mhm. Um, so, have a positive attitude, put focus on positive memories, positive things to imagine in the future that are positive, and have a positive attitude when you're practicing. And every time that you notice improvements in your eyesight and vision, well, celebrate them and share. And I'm seeing that my team is sharing again where you can register to the free masterclass Wake Up Your Eyes. If you haven't registered yet, sign here so that you can enjoy tomorrow's video number 2 and the other lives and the other videos. Again, if you've liked this lesson, you can share it with your friends and family, the content and also the links, of course. You can make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/clearsight method, and also click on the little bell to have notifications. You can follow us on Facebook. And again, if you want to check other people who are already being successful, who had this positive attitude and kept the motivation and the practice and the perseverance and had great results, you can have a look. And you can see and find other people who've done it, so that proves it is possible. And if you don't find anyone who had the precise symptom that you have at this moment who's done it, well, maybe you're the first person who's going to do it in English. In Spanish, we have many, many, many more other testimonials. So we have like really most eyesight symptoms covered. So go ahead and trust yourself, trust your own experience. I would like to invite you to practice with the recommendations I have done and notice what changes. You don't have to believe me. You don't even have to believe the other testimonials, but do it for yourself and see for yourself with your own eyes what difference these practices make. Okay, let's see. Let me have a quick look. Also, people in the team, if you want to send me a little private message, if you think I've forgot something. Okay, someone still needs to use glasses for working in your computer. Well, then when you are at the computer, for now, use them, of course. In the live number 2, we'll give you more tools and alternatives that can maybe probably replace the glasses at the computer. But for now, it makes sense. Yet, when you're not working at the computer, and even at the computer, you can blink, you can look far away in between. When you're not working, you can be outside, play with balls, move and breathe and practice all the things we've been teaching. Okay, SS is saying, thank you very much. I look forward to getting more clear flashes from your excellent advice. Yay, if you already got clear flashes, that's amazing, beautiful. Congratulations, keep practicing, keep learning, and you'll see. Yeah, Joe Pearson, brilliantly delivered training, which makes all perfect sense. Thank you very much. I can't wait for tomorrow's session. Huge thanks for being free. Well, again, we are doing this with our heart, not just me, but my whole team. This is our vision and mission and purpose in life. We want to make natural vision improvement mainstream, like brushing your teeth, so that everybody can take off their eyes and have good eyesight all life long. So we're doing this free training. Tell everyone about it. We are very happy to welcome more people. And of course, we also need to make a living. And so there's an advanced program, but registration for the advanced program will not open until April 28th. So at that time, if you want, you'll have the opportunity to sign up for our paid course. But for now, we're very, very happy to teach for free and to stay as long as necessary in the lives. And again, we're delivering the value of the equivalent of a weekend workshop that would be worth $300 or 300 euros. I'm very happy you're enjoying it. Joe, let me see. Do we get the emails, the videos emailed? Absolutely. So that's another reason why you want to sign up. clearsightmethod.com/wakeupyoureyes, so you don't miss a thing of the whole free masterclass. Okay, let's see. Okay, more things. I'm having a quick look. Okay, some people are asking about nutrition. Yes, we're going to talk more about nutrition a bit later in the course. I see that my team has been answering the questions in the chat. Yeah, Chesta was asking if you're resting the weight of your head on your hands when you're doing the palming. Yes, except if you have glaucoma, retinal detachment, retinal vitreous detachment, and high myopia. In other occasions, yes, you can do it. Okay, yes, I'm seeing that my team answered the questions, so I'm very happy. Let me again congratulate you for being here and acknowledge your dedication to yourself and your willingness to give yourself better lifestyle and health and well-being. So kudos for you. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, or you will see me with video number 2. And we'll have a live again in a few days. So make sure you register so you have access to everything. In tomorrow's lesson, you're going to learn, well, first we're going to go through we're going to go through limiting beliefs that people have about eyesight and vision, and you're going to learn several techniques that will increase your focusing capacity. You will see much clearly, and we trust this technique so much that we're going to provide eye charts and small print so that you can actually evaluate how your eyesight is improving. You could, of course, do that also with books or newspapers that have different print of different sizes if you cannot download or print what we're going to share. So stay with us because you're going to see in a tangible, measurable way with your own eyes how you can see better. And we'll also teach in live number 2 the instant focusing technique. Tomorrow you will learn the second STAR technique of natural vision improvement. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there. So for now, I'm going to wish you well. I'm going to wish you to take care, be happy, enjoy the beauty of life, and I'll see you soon and I'll see you better. Bye-bye.